Rap is out of control.
Now, back when you was actually signed, when you was on Cold Chillin', but then you went to Atlantic.
I was technically never signed to Cold Chillin'.
Okay, nice.
Which is good. Yeah, I mean,
good, nice, not I guess.
It was like this. To be honest with you, Marley took me and Tragedy Gaddafi to get other deals, and even though Cold Chillin' artists that were signed that came up with me had probably more light, because when I signed to Atlantic in '89, it was still experimental for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They had like one guy working, me, Kwame, DOC, everybody had one guy working it, but I still wouldn't trade the experience because I got to see what it was turning into very early.
Right. And I was about to ask you about that process, because being that everything that you're doing now is kind of like on your own terms.
Yeah.
How different was it when you was on Atlantic and did you turn songs in and they were like, no, that's not, we need a radio record. We need this, we need that.
I'll tell you this, and I never talk about this song. I did turn this house into a home, which was a hip house song.
Right.
And I liked hip house when I made the song.
It was at that time it was acceptable.
Well, here's the crazy thing: when I made the song, it didn't come out till a year later. And they were like, "Well, give us 2 more of those," because the long story short is Merlin Bob was my A&R, who was a house DJ.
Yeah.
And it was a constant push and pull. Like, I remember being at like some event. And Good Day New York. Remember the guy Gordon with the accent that used to show up to people's houses? I remember telling him, you wouldn't want to show up to my house by surprise in Queensbridge. It wouldn't end well. And I remember the promotion lady at Atlantic being furious with me for saying that. And I was like, I'm being honest.
Right.
Like, I didn't know I was supposed to put my pinky in the air and put some caviar in it and tell them, sure, come by. To apartment 2A near the incinerator. Yeah, that's what I'll need you to come. You know what I'm saying? So, at one point we just got at so many odds, and the fact that I was in a production deal.
Right.
I used to go up to the label beefing about what I felt was wrong, and they'd be like, "Well, you're not really signed to us." And after a while, I just wanted to be out of it. I just wanted to be out of it. And after that, I stopped making music for like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Because I was fortunate enough that when I signed those 2 deals, I wasn't even old enough to collect all my money. So I was able to chill for a minute, and I had a son. And once the independent game started and I started noticing how it worked, I was like, okay.
Right. Time to come back.
I could do what the hell I want here. And
exactly.
in that beautiful time where you could put out a 12-inch and make 30 grand.
Exactly.
Like, I got to see all of that. And it was great for me because I probably would have, if I had to go under the rules that I were under before that, I would have never probably. I would have definitely went back to college and did something else with my life.
No doubt. Speaking of that, how was it accepted in your household when you was in '85, when you was like starting to make records and hanging out with Marley and them?
Marley lived in my building and my whole family knew him, but you got to remember in '85 there were no expectations for hip hop.
Right.
The song was on the radio constantly. I did Shout by Tears for Fears, the rap version, and it was on the radio constantly, and I got $150 for the song. But I do also recall why I didn't get any more money, because they sued the pants off of Pop Art Records. So, because we didn't ask to do it. We just did it. But back then, I just wanted to hear myself on the radio. Nobody thought it would go anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody would know. Who would thought in '85 that it would be here? We were still probably like a year removed from Run DMC doing all the stadiums in '85.
Right.
And I was 12, so I mean, really, I just wanted to hear myself on the radio.
Yeah.
I went back to school. I think I was going to the 8th grade, and I was like, they asked, "What you do for the summer?" I was like, "I made a record." Yeah. What? I ain't got no money, but it's all right. I made a record. So, honestly, before people had expectations for records, that's when it was great. Like,
of course.
You just went and made a song. You wanted to be in the lab. You didn't. Nobody said, this is going to be a hit. It was just like, we made a record.
Yeah.
Then it went on to whatever it went on to.
Yeah.